it was one of those situations where I want to be an illustrator. I want to problem solve visually, and going 8 hours a day to a job I didn't really care about wasn't problem solving for me. Because basically what I was doing, what I thought was the best job, where I could go in, relax for 8 hours, then go home after work, and then be creative. It doesn't work like that. So what ended up happening is I do the 8 hours, and that 8 hour span of time is me being completely comfortable, not honing my craft, not actually advancing or growing. And that's 8 hours of time that you're not dedicating to your work. And then after that 8 hours, I was expected to be creative. It never happened. So the problem was I was trading my time for money. And what you really need to do is trade your ideas for money. And that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to trade my ideas for money because my ideas are more valuable. And there's more potential in trading your ideas for money rather than time. There's nothing wrong with having a full-time job or a part-time job. But if you're an idea person, or you think of yourself as an idea person, a part-time job or a full-time job, you can't do the two. Comfort and growth don't work together. They're exact opposites. If you're comfortable, you're not growing. If you're growing, you're not comfortable, which is why it's called growing pains, because it's uncomfortable to change and grow. So those are some of the things I learned while working with Oddly and working with printing.
Probably a good example where you have everything combined. 3D modeling, flash animation, HTML, rendering, texturing, everything combined in one website. Normally, you only get to use like a couple of different tools at a time, but this project combined everything. 3D models basically done in Cinema 4D. That's not my preference. Personally, I use Maya over here, like all the projects that have 3D models involved in them. But this company specifically asked that we get Cinema 4D models. But the thing with programs is that if you know how to use one kind of application, you can easily translate it to other applications that are similar, like 3D applications or Photoshop. If you know how to use it, you will be easily able to get used to Painter. Or the thing with smaller studios is that it's much harder here because there's more work for one person to do. In a big agency, it's much easier for you to get in because you could say, I want to do one specific type of thing and get in to do that and just be doing that for the rest of your life. Like you could be doing banner animation for the rest of your life at a big agency. It's much easier to get into those. But at smaller agencies, you might need a bigger variety of skill set to be able to get in because chances are that you might end up doing a lot more than just coding and stuff like that. So every coder in here is also somewhat of a designer, also somewhat of a copywriter. So it's a big bunch of people with more training over the years from bigger agencies coming together. So
we're a global agency actually. This is the Toronto office. Our corporate office is based out of Montreal. We have a Quebec office, and then we have several other offices in Europe and Shanghai. So we're pretty global. If you hadn't heard from us, you heard about us, you're going to.
You're really good at, and then once you're in an agency, you can start exploring other things that you'd like to try. Because getting in the door is the hardest part. But once you're there and networking, I think it's a lot easier to move. So that's my advice. Go do this thing that you're really good at, and be really good at it, and get in to the door with that. And then if that's not really your passion, it's gonna come out anyway. You'll see. It'll be more evident to you when you interact with people that's around you.
So if somebody wanted to work in an agency like this, what would be their best approach?
Bribes.
Puppy dogs. Puppy dogs.
Well, like I said, we're looking for a bunch of people all the time, but go to like what.
Did you? I don't know if you said. Did you respond to an ad or did you do a
Yeah, I found it on LinkedIn.
LinkedIn?
Yeah,
Honestly,
honestly,
really,
like,
really good
So you
tool.
don't need to go through agencies, hiring agencies or things like that.
No, it's a combination of networking.
Combination.
It's who you know as well. So
Yeah, I think entry level, let's say the traditional routes, LinkedIn is probably our biggest. We had the most qualified leads through there. I think as you get further into your career, it's networking, it's who you know, it's the people that you work with who move on to other agencies who you've made an impression on. They may call you up, or you may call them up because you're looking for a new opportunity. So it's a mix of recruitment.
that's a really good point too. We're in a digital age now, so you have to be mindful with your digital footprint. So
yes, consider that.
I mean, I'm not saying you should filter it. You should still be who you are, but I'm saying maybe it's more like building it up. So you're making connections with the right people that eventually can help you and all that stuff. So.
Yeah, there's a lot of ad groups. Say for in LinkedIn, we're all joined up to different things that we're just like we're into the fashion marketing group, or we're with the ad group, and you can see job listings there. You can see what that industry or that particular community, what's important to them. Is it a business problem that they're trying to solve, or an SEO, and then you can, because it's an open forum and it's free, you can start getting your name out there. I think you can always start doing your personal PR right away. So
last year. Blast Radius, specifically from a capability standpoint, we focus and we specialize in strategic digital builds, platforms, campaigns, and content that really helps global consumer brands get the results that they're looking for, and reaching especially the new consumer audiences in the digital and online space. Our client list, as you can see, there's a quick snapshot of it, are things like BMW, Microsoft, Xbox, Nintendo. We're big with EA, and obviously Nike and Starbucks. From a digital competency standpoint, there's just a few snapshots there of digital builds that we've done website builds that we've done for other organizations. Our specialties include digital strategy itself, media planning and buying, search marketing, specifically around SEO and SEO, so search engine optimization, and search engine advertising itself in terms of keyword buying and developing a strategy around that. Electronic CRM, as well as digital advertising as a whole. So this is kind of the big one for us right now, and where we're getting the most amount of client work coming out of. We've highlighted the Starbucks fan page there. We've been Starbucks', that works, digital agency of record since 2006, so for the last 4 years. So although we can't take full credit for it, because that'd be a little arrogant, Starbucks, when they first came to us, they came to us looking to design these kinds of digital platforms and looking to really expand what they had. They had a fledgling Facebook page. Twitter hadn't even really broken out into the masses yet. In the last 4 years, we've been able to build Starbucks into what's the Altimeter Group and a number of other independent consulting firms have called the #1 digital brand on the web itself. The Starbucks page, Facebook page, now has over 13 million followers, is getting over 75,000 followers worldwide per day, is obviously recognized as the #1 digital brand on the planet. And we've helped them really build out programs that not only funnel that Facebook channel, but also programs that really help drive sales in their stores and build brand equity throughout all of their product lines. Probably all heard, content is king. It's really what do you create to connect to the audience that really appeals to them from an entertainment standpoint, appeals to them from a hyper-relevant standpoint, or appeals to them from a perspective of utility. So what is it doing for them in their everyday jobs, in their everyday lives, and from those perspectives itself. So we really create content across video, motion, mini games, photography.
We run a small independent boutique here in Toronto. We offer all the services of a large agency because we branch out and we collaborate with everybody in this amazing city who is ridiculously talented, and together we can do anything. We're traditionally from a branding and pretty contemporary design background. So as you can see, a lot of the work is packaging, branding, websites and stuff like that. But in the past 3 years, we've really branched out into what we like to call true interactive. I know a lot of the industry considers interactive to be websites, and we consider interactive things that you actually interact with, right? Like tangible objects and stuff like that. We came across this technology for music purposes. We had a band, we had a band, and with the band we did live techno music, and we were able to do all kinds of really funky things using these objects, where we were able to map live video projections that were being manipulated by the music in the environment. And so we were able to create these like all-encompassing environments that people really got into, compared to when you do something that's for an individual. Something like for the web is for one person, right? One person is viewing it at a time. This became a collective experience where everybody got to see what was going on. From that, we decided to open up Derooted, because we figured, I'd worked a lot in experiential marketing, doing stuff for General Motors, predominantly through McLaren McCann Momentum, doing all of the exhibitry design for auto shows and stuff like that. And we thought, why not bring this kind of technology and this kind of approach to experiential marketing? And so, like an example, we're doing a project with Heineken right now, where at certain Heineken events, you're going to have coasters that control events happening on the bar, where a DJ can control the music that they're playing by moving Heineken bottles on a glass surface and things like that. So this is our take on interactive. We just figured it was somewhat unique and more true to the word. We were kind of tired of interactive being an individual sport on the web.
Ubisoft was created in 1986. The name Ubisoft comes from the Latin word ubiquitous, which means existing everywhere at the same time. We're now present in 28 countries and nearly have 6,000 employees worldwide. Over the past 12 years, Ubisoft has created a strong brand portfolio. With 19 multi-million unit-selling brands. The studio's been growing every week. We're currently a little over 70 employees, and we plan to reach 800 employees in 10 years. The studio is headed by Jade Raymond.
Hi everyone, I'm Jade Raymond, Managing Director. I've gathered a few people together to make this video.
My name is Maxime Bera. My name is Alex Parizeau. Kashi Posta. Andrew Wilson.
Bettina Marquis. Leslie Fortoy. Lisa Teranishi. Rima Breck.
François Bayorge. I'm a creative director. Senior producer.
Senior animator. Producer.
Director of operation.
I'm a human resources generalist and recruiter. Head of technology for the Toronto studio.
I'm the IT guy.
I'm basically the team psychologist, yes.
I've been at Ubisoft for actually 11 years.
6 years.
16 years now.
I'm brand new. 6 years now. 12 years. 3 weeks.
Ubisoft's culture in one word.
Ubisoft's culture in one word.
That's a hard one.
Audacious.
Innovation. Passion. Enthusiastic.
Openness. Unique.
Controlled chaos. One word.
Wow. Starting in the studio, something that's really exciting.
There's huge potential in Toronto. The spirit's going to be very cool.
Surrounded with people with talent and experience.
I like to help and I like to love.
The possibilities to learn something new here are endless.
We're recruiting really talented people, and I think we're going to make an awesome game.
Having the opportunity to be part of it from the very beginning is really, really cool. My advice for new employees is don't settle.
First advice is get sunglasses really close to your desk.
Bring your enthusiasm, your talent, your skills.
Because when the Nerf battles start, you want to protect your eyes, obviously.
Don't be afraid to share your ideas. Exceed even your own expectations. Challenge yourself.
Keep the startup spirit.
Think outside of the box. Now get to work.